Congratulations, everybody. We have made it to another Friday here on Morning JOX. Appreciate you tuning in this morning. Conrad Van Order, Damian Mitchell here with you. Getting ready to set you off into another great weekend here across the state of Alabama. And it's a big one because we have a lot of commitments coming out in the world of college football, but maybe none bigger than the commitment of our very own Damian Mitchell as he tries to, for the first time in his life, commit to a team and root for them in the upcoming college football season. So we have a special show for you today. That's going to be at 6:30. So you're going to have to wait a little bit, but at 6:30, Damian's going to unveil the top 10 teams that he could potentially root for in 2025. And you can text in your pitches, 205-834-9450. Who do you want him to root for? Maybe he has a team on his list that you think he shouldn't have on his list, and you want to tell him why. So we're going to have fun with that. I know a lot of you have been, as we all have here at the station, we give Damian a hard time from time to time about his fandom, and so hopefully we're going to get that all cleared away, or at least take a step in that direction here this morning. So that's something you can look forward to coming up at 6:30. But we do, as we typically do here each and every day, just kind of recap what you may have missed last night. We have a lot of things going on in the world of sports right now, and we have some weird stuff going on in the world of sports that we have to talk about here this morning as well. But let's start off in Pittsburgh real quick, because that is the site of the U.S. Open there at Oakmont Country Club. And of course, going into it, we knew this was going to be one of the harder courses that we've seen, just based on the conditions and particularly the rough and the way that they have set the course up for this week. We had Doug Bell on 3-Man Front earlier this week, and he said, he thinks this is potentially the hardest course he's ever seen on the PGA Tour, just from the way that it's set up. And Pat Smith had the great stat yesterday. So this is the 10th time that they played the U.S. Open here at Oakmont. And the previous 9 times combined, only 28 golfers have finished under par. So essentially, on average, 3 golfers will finish under par in this tournament. Granted, there's more than that right now.
Yeah.
But if we're going based on the history, when it's all said and done on Sunday, it's let's just say I don't think the winner's going to be 16 under or anything like that. I don't think that's going to be the case. It could be, but I think that would be quite a shock. So, but yeah, expectations were this was going to be an absolutely brutal course. It was really, really going to test the golfers, and it seems to be doing that for some of the bigger names, at least through day one of the tournament. So right now, J.J. Spawn, he is atop the leaderboard. He finished 4 under yesterday, shot a 66, best score of the day, and he had gotten underway early yesterday, and he had gotten he was 4 under fairly early on, and it was good start, that's great, but how long is that really going to last? And he managed to hold on to that. So JJ Spawn, the American, he is in first place right now through day one at 4 under. Then you have Thriston Lawrence, he's at 3 under in second place. Siwoo Kim there is at 2 under, along with Sunjae Im and Brooks Koepka. They're both tied there at 2 under. You got John Rahm. He was one of the favorites behind Scotty Scheffler coming in. He is 1 under. Adam Scott there at even. You got Spieth at even. Colin Morikawa's at even as well. And you may find yourself going, man, figured Scotty Scheffler would probably be up there by now. Well, he's not. Scotty Scheffler had a bit of a rough day yesterday, so he currently sits at 3 over, along with Bryson DeChambeau and Patrick Reed and others. Patrick Reed had the albatross yesterday. If you missed that, don't see that very often.
You don't.
So that was a really cool moment, and that kind of saved his day there, because he's at 3 over, and that is what the cut line is projected at right now. So Scotty Scheffler right there on the cut line at 3 over. Rory at 4 over, so he's projected to miss the cut as it stands right now, at least. So some of the bigger names in golf certainly having a bit of a rough go of it here in the first day at Oakmont. But yeah, let's see, the last place golfer at this point, George Dwangmani. Sorry, not familiar with George, but he's 16 over par.
Sounds
so that
good to
just
me.
kind of goes to show how rough it could be out there yesterday. When you got guys on the PGA Tour shooting 86, I mean, there's a handful of guys over 80 yesterday.
Yeah, I could do that.
Right. So, yeah, we had the discussion on three-man front the other day of, like, realistically, like, you know, at a course like this, do you think you could shoot under 150? And I do not.
I don't think so.
I do not.
I don't think so.
I would also have to go through probably about 40 golf balls over the course of 18 holes, and that's maybe being generous with that. So, yeah, going to be a rough week up there in Oakmont as we expected, but we'll see if Scotty, Roy, some of these guys can get hot today and move themselves up the leaderboard. But the cut line projected at +3 right now. That's exactly where Scheffler is. Rory on the other side of that, and then J.J. Spawn, currently your leader in the clubhouse there at 4 under par. So that'll be exciting to watch over the weekend. Something else that's going to be exciting to watch over the weekend, of course, the College World Series. So that's going to get underway today. So no SEC representation on the field in Omaha today, but we know all the fans are going to be there at Rocco's buying Jello shots, right? I did see last night, I guess it was the first update of the leaderboard. Murray State in the lead.
Well, they got there early. It's a shorter travel.
Well,
shorter travel. They're up there.
Well, and they're fired up, right? They're the Cinderella of the dance, and they're, yeah.
And John Morant, he probably covered the bill for everybody too. So, shout out to Murray State. They're there. They're having a good time. But just know that LSU, they'll be there shortly.
No, they certainly will be. So it's going to be a fun week up in Omaha as we crown a champion in college baseball, but it all gets underway today. So 1 o'clock, you're going to have on ESPN, you're going to have Arizona and Coastal Carolina. Coastal winning the Auburn Super Regional here last weekend. So they're going to host Arizona the first game. Then you're going to have Louisville taking on Oregon State. Oregon State going to be the home team in that one. So that's going to be a 6 o'clock first pitch. So those are the two games that you're going to have to look forward to today. And then tomorrow you're going to get two more as Murray State, who we just talked about, they're going to take on UCLA at 1 o'clock. And then the late game tomorrow, 6 p.m. on ESPN. I think we're all excited for this one. LSU and Arkansas. That's going to be your SEC on SEC representation. Again, this is double elimination, so whoever wins, somebody's going to have to win, but that doesn't mean that's going to be the end of the road for one of the SEC teams. They're just going to have to dig themselves out of a little bit of a hole there in the losers bracket. But yeah, LSU, Arkansas, they will get underway tomorrow, but you are going to have College World Series action starting today at 1 p.m., so a lot to look forward to on that front. We do have a little bit of news in the college football world as well. Just some, kind of housekeeping things, some news and notes. So we've been talking a lot about recruiting and, of course, Damian's recruitment as well. But for Auburn, yesterday they actually got a decommitment in their upcoming class, and that's four-star linebacker JaMychal Garrett. He had been committed to Auburn since July of last year, but 6'2", 205 linebacker from Louisiana. He has offers from 30-something other schools, so I'm not sure who the favorite in the clubhouse is for him, but from everything that I could gather intel-wise, it doesn't seem like this was a big surprise to Auburn fans. So, again, you do lose a commitment. That might sting a little bit, but at least it didn't seem to catch anybody off guard, and this seemed like maybe something that the writing was kind of on the wall if you are an Auburn fan. But how about if you're an Auburn basketball fan? I saw this last night. This is kind of cool. Dylan Cardwell, who I think we all know is one of the most beloved Auburn Tigers athletes really of the last few years, just for what he meant to that basketball program and everything that he went through to be a part of it. He's going to get a workout with the Los Angeles Lakers. So I saw that. So not a guy that's going to be selected in the NBA draft, but a guy that may find a way to work himself onto a roster somewhere, and maybe it's going to be in L.A. with LeBron James.
Yeah, and we've seen, guys from the state play up there with Trey Jemison. He got a stint with the Lakers as well. Mm-hmm. And kind of one of the things that they're looking for is a big man. And Dylan Cardwell, nobody's asking him to go out here and give you, 12 to 15 points. You know what he brings to you defensively and on the rebounding side of things. And he's also athletic enough to match up with some of the quicker guards because of his athleticism. He has a lot of space, has a lot of length. So, and again, I'm not expecting him to go out here and mess around and be a first round pick or even a second round pick. But if he can find his way in the G League and just keep himself afloat, this is a great opportunity. And now you get, the NBA coaches get their eyes on you, and you're the biggest market pretty much in college in NBA basketball in the Los Angeles Lakers. So, yeah, go out there, do your thing, man. And listen, as somebody that nobody outside of Bruce Pearl has much more orange and blue blood running through their veins than Dylan Cardwell, because he's been a lovable guy. Mm-hmm. He's been the leader on that squad for a while, has had a lot of success. So he could have gone the Sky Ziegler route and tried to get another year of eligibility, but they told him to get a job. So he's at least putting his resume out there.
Yes, he certainly is, and that's a perfect segue, actually, because there was you mentioned Zakai Ziegler. There's something else going on around Tennessee and the football program. It was a weird day to be a Tennessee Volunteer yesterday. It was also a weird day to be Antonio Brown.
Oh, boy.
So, it was just a weird day in sports yesterday. So we'll tell you why. Why was it a weird day to be a Tennessee Volunteer? Why is it a bad day to be Antonio Brown? Outside of the obvious. I mean, come on, let's be serious here. So we'll dive into that next on JOX. 6:16, welcome back in Morning JOX here on JOX 94.5. Conrad Van Order, Damian Mitchell here with you. And coming up in about 15 minutes, Damian's going to unveil the 10 teams that he might root for in the upcoming college football season. And I think we figured out why he wanted to do this today. And it's because yesterday was a very bizarre day in Tennessee Volunteer land. And so Damian is trying to make everyone forget that he is, in fact, a big Tennessee fan. And so it's just kind of convenient that on a day where they were kind of in the news for a couple of reasons that, Damian says, oh, yeah, this is the day that we're going to unveil the top 10 list.
Sure. It wasn't necessarily my line of thinking, but that's... Listen, I've narrowed it down to 10 teams after doing some due diligence, and in about 13 or so minutes, I will unveil it.
Well, we are very excited to hear what those teams are going to be. But, yeah, yesterday in Rocky Top, so starting off, you had Zakai Ziegler, who Damian had mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, and he had filed a lawsuit. He was trying to get another year of eligibility, presumably, because he was going to have a pretty hefty NIL offer to go back to whether it was Tennessee or somewhere else for one more year of college basketball. But as we now know, he has played 138 games of college basketball, and they essentially called him out and said, well, you haven't done anything at this point in your career to prove that you're worthy of going to the NBA or the NBA draft, so I don't think another year of eligibility is going to get you there. So, no, we're good. And so yesterday it became official. He was denied by the NCAA, so Zakai Ziegler will have to get a real job. And unfortunately for Tennessee basketball, their point guard will not be coming back for another season. So that's what I think started off. You're like, man, that's kind of a bad day. Then you have just a bizarre situation with Tennessee football and On3 Sports. So if you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about right now, there's a guy named Grant Furking. And he was a walk-on at Tennessee in, I believe, 2018 to 2022, that kind of time range. That's when he was there with the Tennessee Volunteers. Afterwards, he went to go work for On3 as a writer for them. And part of that is that while he was doing this full-time at On3, he was also doing a part-time gig at the University of Tennessee as a consultant for their football program. Now, it was a part-time thing. And I believe he said he got paid $30,000 over the last 2 years total. So he was getting $7,500 payments every 6 months, and that was for his work with the Tennessee football program. But as you can imagine, that's a little bit of a conflict of interest in terms of On3 when you have somebody on staff who is also an employee of one of the programs that they cover. So you can see where that would be a little bit of an issue. And so apparently he had served as a part-time consultant for Tennessee football since July of 2023. During that time period, he has also worked for On3. According to On3 CEO Shannon Terry, he was unaware of Furking being employed by both On3 and the University of Tennessee at multiple times. He claims that they asked him about it multiple times. They asked him to provide evidence that he wasn't working for Tennessee, And I guess he did that, and so he lied to them and presented to them, no, I do not have nothing to do with the University of Tennessee. I went to school there. Yeah, maybe I talked to some people, but yeah, I don't work for them. And the whole time he was working for them. So that was a little bit of an interesting situation there. But Mr. Furking had also left his position at On3 Sports a couple of weeks ago due to allegations of criminal misconduct. So not only was he working for On3 and the University of Tennessee football program at the exact same time, he also was doing a number of other things in his free time. So apparently, he had been maybe handling some money in a not the most legal way, I guess you could say, as apparently he had been posing as a member of a different company or claiming that he still worked for, I guess this would have been the third employer, but he was essentially keeping in contact with customers, telling them he works for this company, getting them to send him money for that company's product, which he would not deliver. So he was, essentially committing fraud and telling people that he was going to provide a service. They would pay him for that service, and then they wouldn't get the service. So he was doing that on top of getting evicted from multiple apartments in the Nashville area here in the past couple of months. So been an exciting year for Mr. Furking, really the last couple of years, as he has been collecting checks from both On3 Sports and the University of Tennessee, and innocent customers thinking that he was, a salesman for this other company as well. So just, again, a very bizarre situation there at the University of Tennessee and everything that was going on. And, so this is Shannon Terry, again, the CEO of On3 Sports. This was his official statement on Twitter yesterday. Quote, On3 had no knowledge of this relationship. Grant was explicitly instructed not to engage either directly or indirectly with the University of Tennessee or its collective. On multiple occasions during his employment, he was asked to confirm compliance with this directive, and he repeatedly denied any involvement. These representations were false. He lied to us.
Yeah, essentially. But what an offseason for Tennessee. With the whole Nico thing and Zakai Ziegler want to get an extra year. Now this, it's quite rocky on Rocky Top, to say the least.
Yeah, and it's just interesting and I guess ironic when you consider the fact that part of his duties as an advisor for the football program were NIL matters and helping Josh Heupel and the players kind of navigate that landscape. And so maybe not the best guy to be giving your players financial advice based on.
So it's his fault. So he was the one that was telling Nico he was worth a little bit more, and that's when Nico went into Coach Heupel's office. So he is the start of all of this nonsense going on in Rocky Top. Makes perfect sense.
No, it's still Nico's dad.
So
I feel pretty good. I feel pretty confident that we kind of know who's responsible for that one. Yeah, I feel pretty confident about that one. But that's that's just me personally. So again, weird day to be a Tennessee Volunteer. Zakai Ziegler gets denied by the NCAA, and one of your former walk-on wide receivers is lying about working for you while working for another company, and also getting illegal payments from customers for a job that he wasn't working. So kind of a loaded situation there in Rocky Top. We have another loaded situation, though, and that is, what is going on with Antonio Brown? So if you missed the news last night, this came out late last night, so I'm sure many of you were asleep. I'll be honest, I thought it was a joke at first, or it was, just one of those, some accounts spreading rumors or whatever for clicks. But no, this is apparently very, very real. So law enforcement in Miami-Dade County is looking to arrest former NFL wide receiver Antonio Brown on attempted murder charge, according to a warrant that was reviewed by the Washington Post. They were kind of the ones spearheading this. It says the charge stems from a shooting that Antonio Brown was allegedly involved with during a celebrity boxing event in Miami last month. The warrant shows a charge of attempted murder with a firearm. It also instructs Antonio Brown to post a $10,000 bond and remain on house arrest until his trial. So according to reports, essentially the report of what happened is Antonio Brown was detained by police after gunshots were fired at the recent boxing event. which was hosted by streamer Aiden Ross. Brown was then seen fighting with several people on video posted to social media, and gunshots could clearly be heard after the altercation. According to some reports, there was a fight that broke out, and Antonio Brown stole the firearm of a security guard at the event and shot some rounds at somebody at the event, and that is now why he is charged with attempted murder. So
I'm interested to see the series of tweets these next couple of days.
Yeah, his Yeah. So just when you thought things couldn't get any worse for Antonio Brown,
they do
have a situation like this. Well, he posted let's see, when would that have been? About 3:00 yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Oh, that's what he's posting.
Right. So
yeah.
He's I'll be interested to see how his tweets look moving forward.
Yeah, so if you needed any other reasons to think that Antonio Brown was a little bit not right in the head, this is about we're probably Exhibit J now.
Yeah.
We're just going down the alphabet.
Vontaze Burfict has a lot of blame to do with this as well. That one hit changed the trajectory of not only just Antonio Brown's life, it changed the course of history for everybody's lives, because especially if you follow Antonio Brown, it's been a sight to see.
Yeah,
it affected Tom Brady's life.
Yeah, you remember when he thought he was going to lose his foot?
Yeah.
That was that was an interesting time.
It affected the Raiders,
the
Steelers, Patriots,
yeah,
the Bucks. It's and again, set football aside, he's probably one of the more interesting cases of, football is dangerous. I will say that. It's a dangerous sport. But sometimes when you're granted a lot of success and you kind of lose yourself in a lot of it, because again, it's not like he was a first round pick. Like this is
no, he was a 5th or 6th rounder from
early on Pittsburgh. It was, man, he's one of the hardest working players in the organization. Now he's turned into just kind of a head case, to say the least.
Yeah, I don't think football's done him any favors from from a mental health standpoint, but I certainly think that he's probably just a little crazy,
right,
from the jump.
Yeah.
So yeah, but fortunately, nobody died in that accident. Nobody had any serious, long-term injuries or anything like that. But not a good situation, not a good look for Antonio Brown, who continues to be a bit of an enigma in his career post playing days. So, just a weird day there for Antonio Brown as well as the Tennessee Volunteers, and that is why Damian has found 10 teams that he would consider rooting for in the upcoming college football season. You can chime in with your thoughts, 205-834-9450. Who do you want Damian to root for? Who do you not want him to root for? And Damian will unveil the 10 teams next on Morning JOX. .633, welcome back in Morning JOX here on JOX 94.5. Connor Van Order, Damian Mitchell here with you on your Friday, and the moment has come, the moment of truth. Y'all have been asking for it for some time now, and Damian's ready to deliver. He has narrowed it down, his 10 teams that he is going to consider rooting for in the upcoming college football season. The floor is yours, Damian. Let's, all right, you look ready.
Yeah. First off, I want to say thank you to all the schools that will be listed. Thank you to the 16 schools in the SEC, because if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't have anybody to root for. Just a lot of tradition and a lot of passion from the fan bases as well. It's been a very grueling process, but narrowing it down to 10 teams, I think these 10 teams embody, what fandom is in the SEC. And through highs and lows and a lot of thoughts and prayers, I've narrowed it down to 10. And I'm pretty excited to let the world know. It's never official until you put a graphic out, so there will be a graphic here shortly to give you the layout of exactly what these 10 teams will be. But
okay, quickly.
Go ahead, brother.
In any specific order?
No.
This isn't.
These are just the 10. Yeah,
okay.
These are my top 10. But it goes without showing. Goes without saying, but I've narrowed it down to 10 teams, and these are the 10 teams that are in contention of taking my fandom in 2025. We'll start off with the Auburn Tigers. Auburn has entered the chat. They've been nothing but wonderful fans, and
it'd be like going home for you.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. It's like my third or fourth home. Yeah, absolutely, and it's up there. I had great times there in Jordan-Hare, and I think the last visit I went out there and had a wonderful time. The coaches have been nothing but wonderful to me since Hugh Freeze has been there, and actually the exit of Peyton Thorne actually helped me with a lot of this decision making for Auburn, so that's why they're in the mix. I also had the Texas Longhorns. I know they're a late addition to the SEC, but you look at what they have returning in Arch Manning and Steve Sarkisian. I remember him in his ties at Alabama, so he kept the connection going, and he also hooked me up with some Texas gear. So the NIL budget is no issue for them as well. So Texas has also one of my top 10 teams that I will be rooting for. Ole Miss, the Ole Miss Rebels. Of course, everybody knows my affinity for the offensive side of the ball. And Lane Kiffin embodies that. And
naturally, yeah.
Yeah, he also has, Pete Golden as his defensive coordinator, who I've been rocking with since his Alabama days. Nothing but love for Pete and that Landshark defense. But, as far as the Ole Miss fandom as well, I've been to Oxford a couple times, had great visits while I was there, and they treat me with love. So Ole Miss is there as well. I also had the Alabama Crimson Tide, and me and you both, we're big Alabama fans in certain sports, and but I love what Kalen DeBoer is building over there. Got a chance to chop it up with a lot of former players like Greg McElroy, who's one of the biggest influences there at the University of Alabama. He's been a great ambassador for the school, and really treats me with a lot of love and respect as far as me, trying to decide my fandom, and he's been a very integral part of why Alabama has continued to be in the mix of everything. Coming in at number 5, I have the LSU Tigers. LSU, Brian Kelly with the history and success that he's had. They've got, they just had Jaden Daniels a couple years ago win the Heisman Trophy, the tradition of winning, and some of the big name players that have been there. I love, the fan base because they root for everything. If LSU is in it, the fans are going to be locked in as well. So when I think of just what I embody as a fan, LSU kind of takes the cake of that. And again, I expect big things from them in 2025. One of your also favorite schools as well, Oklahoma. The Oklahoma Sooners have been selected as one of my top 10 schools as well. Never been a Norman, but everything that you've told me in your visit there, you had a great time besides the actual game. And also with John Mateer coming in this fall, I know that you've pretty much locked him in for the Heisman Trophy. And you've actually kind of helped in that. You've helped in that as well, because I was, kind of skeptical on Oklahoma at first. But, having talks with you and, watching DeMarco Murray in a Tennessee Titans uniform years ago kind of helped in that situation as well. And even Dorial Green Beckham for the cup of tea he had at Oklahoma, and also a cup of tea he had at the Tennessee Titans. He also helped with that as well. So Oklahoma is also in my top 10. The Tennessee Volunteers, they are there. I know a lot of people.
Wow, thought you were going to throw them to the curb.
No. You listen, man, as a Heupel disciple myself, it's hard to go against, what I've been presented on the offensive side of the ball for a couple years now, and what Josh Heupel has done and how he's built that Tennessee program. And also a lot of Tennessee fans, even here in the state of Alabama, have welcomed me with open arms, and they're trying to sway my decision. I told them that money is no issue. Like it can help, but it's not the underlying issue.
You can't be bought. No, it's about where you feel the connection and what feels like home. Yeah,
right. And shout out to those guys in Knoxville, and they've been treating me well. They've been treating me with a lot of respect. So they also are in my my top 10. The Georgia Bulldogs are also in my top 10 as well. Georgia, what Kirby has built there, it's very, very intriguing, and they just got an old school approach about it. Like they're very aggressive. They've been on the mountain a few times. They've achieved a lot of greatness, and kind of, the legend Matthew Stafford, and just watching his success from Georgia and even in the NFL after he left Detroit, which he couldn't do in Detroit. it's been amazing to watch, and I like to be, connected with success that, Georgia brings, and they also are in my top 10. Stetson Bennett was also a very influential factor in all of this as well as a 2-time national champion.
I thought you hated Matthew Stafford.
Listen, for my fan commitment, we can pull things. We can pull stuff to the side. We can push it to the side. But
this is growth. Okay.
Yeah, rounding out, we're at number 9 right now. The Florida Gators.
Okay.
A lot of juice coming from that program, and we have Pelham Gator. We got our buddy Drake, who have again, and even Lee. They've welcomed me with open arms as a potential Gators fan. And Gainesville has a lot of strong alumni. They have a strong. They have a strong presence, and when they're up, they feel good. Like it's always, I think it's a little bit better in the SEC when Florida's good because you go down there in the swamp, you just get that atmosphere. It's hot, it's muggy, and it's just that I love the fan base, and a guy like Ricky Pearsall, somebody that I saw play receiver. I saw a lot of myself in Ricky Pearsall during his time at Florida, and I just, I embody that, strong receiver, not the biggest. He's a weight room warrior. He's, first man in, last one out. Just an excellent route runner.
Deceptively fast, yeah.
Yeah, sneaky fast, man. He's deceptively fast, and just some of the things that he's done and what they're building down there. Big DJ Lagway guy as well. But rounded out my top 10 as far as SEC fandom. I have the Arkansas Razorbacks as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Woo Pig. Sam Pittman. Again, I had one encounter with Sam Pittman at SEC Media Days, and it changed my life. And, I wanted to commit right then back in 2022, but I kind of gave myself a little bit of a grace period because I told him that, my loyalty resides with Josh Heupel, and he respected it, and he was very calm and collected about it. But I think, with Taylon Green and those guys, I'm excited for what 2025 could potentially be for the Arkansas Razorbacks. And also, you got to think, Jerry Jones. He even brought up some NIL stuff with me, and I told him, I was like, listen, Jerry, I understand. I truly, truly do understand that you got a lot of paper. I cannot be bought. I refuse to make my decision off money. Now, can it help? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's generational wealth. That's what we're looking for. But he even said it to me. He was like, listen, I only need your commitment for a year. He's like, think of all the Dallas Cowboy contracts that had to go into their final year. And I was like, it makes perfect sense. I like that. But a lot of Arkansas love. Shout out to our guy, Eric G., who has a radio station down there in Fayetteville, Arkansas, who's been in my support. Who's been in my corner as well with the Arkansas Razorbacks. So just to round out my top 10 again, for SEC fandom, I have the Auburn Tigers, I have the Texas Longhorns, Ole Miss Rebels, Alabama Crimson Tide, LSU Tigers, Oklahoma Sooners, the Tennessee Volunteers, Georgia Bulldogs, Florida Gators, and the Arkansas Razorbacks. So as we get closer to kickoff, I will also be dwindling it down. There are some parameters that I'm going to set up and have some conversations with fans and coaches and some inside intel to just understand what the NIL package could be. Because again, it's not the underlying decision, but it's something that we do need to discuss moving forward. But I just ask everybody to respect my decisions and understand that if your school was not mentioned, it's nothing personal. It's nothing personal. It's just where my heart is. It's just where my heart is. And I thank you for your time, Conrad.
No, we thank you, Damian. I know this was a difficult process for you, and you had to make some really, really tough decisions. But ultimately, you're doing what you think is best for you and your future, and we're gonna be here for you alongside you for that entire journey. So what do you think? 205-834-9450. Who do you think Damian should root for this college football season? A number of texts keep coming in. You keep flooding us with your thoughts on Damian's top 10. So that's where we go next on Morning JOX. Friday edition of Morning JOX. Conrad and Damian here with you. McElroy and Kublick in the morning coming up at 7. And y'all are texting in 205-834-9450 on the Courtesy GMC text line. Your thoughts on Damian, his top 10, his 10 teams that he is going to potentially root for this upcoming college football season. He's going to whittle that list down as we get closer and closer to the kickoff of the actual season. And then we will have a special, we'll do something special for your commitment. We've thrown some ideas out there already. Maybe some way that we could get some listeners involved as well, or let them be a part of it. So we'll Yeah.
I appreciate you, man. It's tough. It's been tough trying to dwindle it all down.
No, I know. Well, I can just tell because I know it's been wearing on you for the last couple of days, and you can just tell it's taking a toll on Damian. But he's got to put the work in. So we appreciate you going through that process, and now we get to hear from the listeners. Damian, what do they think of your list? Who do they want to see you root for? So we'll get to your text in a minute, but let's get to the phone lines quickly. Deacon chimes in from Tuscaloosa. How we doing, Deacon?
Doing good, gentlemen. How are y'all doing?
I can't complain. Damian's feeling real giddy now. He's got a monkey off his back now that he's got his list out there.
Well, he's fixing to get another one on his back. Before I tap dance on Mr. Mitchell's head, I wanted to say something. Mark Stoops, you have been talking about possibly getting fired. I don't care if that man goes 0-12 this season and has a bicycle wreck with his director of player development. No offense, Arkansas, but he ain't getting fired with a $37 million payout.
I mean, that is
on the football program.
Yeah, that is certainly a lot for Kentucky. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Well, I heard your top 10, Damian, and Bama's on there, and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
I don't know if Conrad agrees with me, but bandwagon fans, love you. You're welcome to roll with the Tide this year. I'm gonna buy the wagon, and I'm gonna rent a band. And I'm going to put a cow on there. And I'm going to have somebody drive that wagon from Lee County all the way to your radio station. And if I see you get on that wagon, I'm going to start laughing at you. And I'm going to dig another hole by my Vanderbilt hole to add you and Phil Steele. Because if you jump on that bandwagon, brother, you're done.
Thank you, Deacon. Appreciate the call this morning. Oh, man, Deacon is one of the very best. Love him calling in each and every morning. All right, let's go to Don real quick. He has some thoughts on Damian's fandom. How we doing, Don?
Hey, that was pretty good, Deacon. Good job. He's a good caller, guys.
Oh, absolutely. So who do you want Damian to root for? I mean, obviously, I guess Auburn, but if you had to pick someone besides Auburn.
That's the obvious question, and I hope you got my text a minute ago. You guys have got to watch that show, guys. They had me and PG. We were escaped, and Damian, of all people, you'll appreciate this the most. I was a escaped convict from an insane asylum.
That seems very fitting, Don. That seems very fitting.
I don't appreciate that at all.
That's what I knew y'all would say. And when I said when they pulled me, hey, Conrad, when you saw the guy pull me up, by the way, y'all know that guy. He works at News Talk 100.5. AJ, I believe y'all know him.
Mm-hmm.
He played the security guard. And when I said Auburn was going to go 10-2 and make the playoffs, that was the first sequence of it. But we had a blast. I thought me and PG did good, so hope you guys watch it more. But Damian, War Damn Eagle to you, buddy, and we want you, brother.
Well, there you have it. Thank you, Don. Appreciate you calling in. Got to get to the text, but there you go. Auburn, Don, they'd be happy to have you, Damian. If that makes your decision. I know. We're just trying to make your decision easier for you, Damian. That's all they were trying to do, whether that's well, for one reason or another. We'll leave it at that. All right, so y'all chime in on the Courtesy GMC text line. We have text coming in. Being a diehard fan is tough, Damian. In 2020, I'm an Auburn fan, and our rival Alabama won the championship. Atlanta Braves and the Dodgers, Atlanta Braves lost to the Dodgers, and the Celtics lost to the Lakers. So, that would not have been
tough.
Yeah, that is a tough year. That is a very varied sports fandom that you have there as well. Very interesting. Bo in Haleyville. He chimes in. He says, and I agree with this. He says, your offer has been withdrawn from Alabama. We don't want bandwagon fans. See, and that's kind of where I'm at. Like, love you, but
it's not going to influence my decision.
Yeah, well, okay.
But thank you, though.
No, I'm going to make a call down there. We'll get that scholarship revoked. Let's see. Somebody sitting in a picture of a truck on 459 with the Tennessee decal says, is Damian even at work today? Yeah, he's here. But someone stole his truck. Let's see. We have Eric in Adamsville. He says, come on over to Alabama, Damian. We've got the most tradition, Ryan Williams, and the newest Hellcats. Plus, we'll throw in an autographed picture of Nick Saban or Roll Tide Willie, but you can't have both.
Hey,
you can only have one.
Sweetening the deal. See? Even all Alabama fans want me, dog. Stop being a hater.
Michael asks, is Kellen Mond the only reason Texas A&M did not make your top 10?
There are other reasons, but Texas A&M was the easiest one to mark off the list. I will say that.
Jimmy chimes in. Damian apparently doesn't realize that with Diego Pavia, Vanderbilt is freaking turned up. Go Doors. Close those doors. All right.
Yeah. They were one of 16 at one point in time.
Yeah, and I guess that's where they stayed. Let's see. Fanboy chimes in. He says, you don't want to be an Auburn fan because it's hard to cheer when you're constantly yelling about the next year.
Fair.
We're living in the now.
That's fair.
Let's see. Fulton says, Damian cannot be bought, but he can be rented.
He understands the clause.
Let's see. Freeman has all he says is, I have this to say for Damian. If they're not wearing crimson.
Atta baby. I like the mindset.
Let's see. Matt says, go live in Texas for 1 month and then tell me that Texas stays in your top 10.
I mean, I'd take a trip to Austin and see.
Cody chimes in. I already hate this damn list, Conrad. Yeah, I mean, it's hey, it's Damian's list. It's where his heart is leading him. Let's see. Someone chiming in. They want you to be an Oklahoma fan. Drake putting in his vote for the Florida Gators. Joseph says Georgia. Bobby wants you to be an LSU fan. So many of you chiming in. We appreciate it. We'll dive more into Damian's fandom next week. But McElroy and Kubik in the morning, they're next.